Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S.-African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, proved that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why Be Direct was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. Black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to Be Direct's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business life cycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, Be Direct Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and a commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African, continental, and country-specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental-based facilitators. But even more unique to Be Direct Prep, we cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change, and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
Hello, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And my genius is helping women accelerate the path to success. You know, I was blessed to have strong women in my life who encouraged, motivated, and pushed me to do my best and to never even think about giving up on my dreams. So I say to women, we must show up to rise up. We have talents and potential, but who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? I know that women are a tremendous resource on this planet, and there is nothing more fulfilling than helping a woman tap into her full potential. I do this because I want to be a part of helping as many women as I can to show up, to rise up. I do this because Genius is common.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Hey guys, my name is Caden. I'm the CEO of Caden Teaches, and my genius is teaching kids about financial literacy. Throughout my financial products, such as my financial flashcards, my activity book, and my newest project, my financial bus, which I bought. And on the bus, it has a mock bank where kids will learn how to deposit and withdraw money, a mock grocery store where kids will be able to learn how to have a family budget, and a mock stock exchange where kids will even be able to learn how to invest in stocks. Now, I decided to start teaching kids about financial literacy because I find that most kids graduate high school without even knowing the basics about financial literacy. And I feel if I were to teach kids about financial literacy, that I would be able to help kids tap into their genius. And I actually learned about financial literacy to my dad because I would go to business meetings with him and I would always see that they were talking about financial literacy. And at that point, I didn't understand what financial literacy was. So I took it upon myself to learn about financial literacy and teach it to kids in a way that they could understand. But I want you guys to help me help kids tap into their genius by going to my website, cadenteaches.com, and you can sew into me in my financial bus by going to my GoFundMe link. And remember, if Caden can, you can too, because genius is common.
I'm Kennedy Harris. My genius is being an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of K-Lock, a company where I develop my very own line of kids supplements. I currently market my multivitamin for kids to help combat weak immunity. During the pandemic, research has shown that having a strong immune system is key to fighting off disease. My vitamins are for kids, but adults can benefit from them as well. I'm adding a proprietary blend to my supplement line. I want to create my own blend so that I have a competitive edge in the marketplace. Staying healthy is important to me so that we live longer and have healthier lives. My website is klockproducts.com. That is K-L-O-C-K. Genius is common.
So what we have to do is when we get in the spot, we need to create some spots for us. That's the main thing. We need to be able to be in a position where we're able to create those spots for us. For me, being an entrepreneur, I'm not just going to get a business and then leave you sitting high and dry. If you ask me some questions about entrepreneurship, I'm going to give you as much as I've received. I've seen people who made it, and then when you ask them, it's like, okay, now you have to pay me for the information, the same information I got for free. We probably in totally different cities. There's no way that we're going to bump heads or anything. We're not competing. Bring me up with you. And so I just think that whatever education that I have, then I need to be able to give that to my own as well. So create the spots. You can create the spots when you get there.
How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know, a student, a business entrepreneur? Or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? That business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dream by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be losers, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of Black business in the history of the world.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaugh, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaugh explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Sometimes you got to hear the news from the Black perspective, and more specifically, Black publishers. And that's exactly why you have to download the HeyTie app, the largest mobile app delivering breaking news, videos, and podcasts from 200 of your favorite Black publishers. Yes, 200 Black publishers delivering news as it happens, literally all in one app. Go to HAYTI.com or download the app in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. It's completely free, along with information that you can trust, so go check them out.
5-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
In a little brown pack. Yeah, please give me one of those. And a bottle of water. Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Ravana Amos. I am your business moderator for this session of the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about businesses. Today, we are very fortunate to have with us Mr. Jerry Smith. Jerry is a seasoned 38-year-old veteran in the radio and television industry with expertise spanning across multiple music formats, including classic rock, gospel, hip-hop, and urban contemporary. Recognized with numerous prestigious awards, including the NAB Marconi Award and Stellar Award, Jerry has demonstrated exceptional leadership in broadcasting. He is the founder and CEO of JAS Consulting and Entertainment and owner of Favor973.com, an award-winning digital streaming station. A dedicated community servant, Jerry is a motivational speaker and advocate for youth education. Please help me welcome Ms. Jerry Smith. How are you today?
I am well. We meet again, and it's
yes,
a
we
pleasure
do.
to see you again.
The
and
pleasure's all mine.
I like to say I'm one of the hardest working men in the business, but I tell you, you got me beat. You're the hardest working lady in business.
You know, when you're under Dr. Kelly, you're going to be working.
I know, right? When Dr.
We're
Kelly,
so happy to have you.
Answer the call, I guess.
Yeah.
We all answer the call.
To the Black Business Network for all that they do for our community and for us as a people as a whole. Yes. So now let's get right into you. What inspired you to start your career in radio and television?
God did. When I was 12 years old, I knew I wanted to do it. And speaking of God, I'd like to acknowledge him and thank him for this opportunity to be with you. And I want to thank Dr. Eric Kelly III. And just a pleasure to being amongst all the great speakers and entrepreneurs who are sowing into the Black Business Expo to help sow a seed into the young men and women, the future entrepreneurs, and help them with further their education and provide all the things that they need to do great things. But at 12 years old, I knew I wanted to do radio. I could smell it, taste it, touch it. And 7 years later, I was doing it in college. Honestly, I knew the girls liked the DJs. So, I was a shy guy. And
right.
That would be a cool way to meet the girls. And
so it was motive driven.
Say that again.
It was motive driven.
There you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
with the
Uh-huh.
music, but it just became a love and passion and a way to bless less fortunate people. And that's really what I enjoy most about it is just doing some good with that
Mm-hmm.
medium.
Yeah. Yes. Now, when you look back, when did you say, or how did you say your journey in broadcasting actually began?
Well, it began, as I said, with the dream, the vision.
Mm-hmm.
At 12 years old, a lot of people, don't know my full story. So
Mm-hmm.
at 12 years old, I wanted to be a DJ. I used to listen to the radio, Frankie Crocker, WBLS in New York, and I used to emulate the DJs. When I
Mm-hmm.
was 16 years old, I used to sneak out of the house and I would go down to my uncle, David Payton. He had a bar called the Uptowners. I would sneak out
Mm.
of the house at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. My mom thought, I was in bed sleeping, and I'm climbing out the window, going down town to his club and watching my cousins DJ on the turntables. And they would let me get in a little bit. And so that's a part of my story that I was doing. And then
Mm-hmm.
3 years later, when I went to Central Connecticut State University on a soccer scholarship, I started DJing on the college radio station. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What challenges did you face in your early stage of your career?
Gosh, the challenges I would say, um, I've had a storybook career, but
Mm.
in terms of challenges, um, one of the biggest challenges for me was a lot of people saw the talent that I had better than I could see how
Mm.
talented I was. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people were insecure and they were threatened and they could see great things that were coming down the road for me. And a lot of people were insecure and they
Mm.
thought that, they felt threatened that I could take their
Mm-hmm.
job, but that was like the
Mm-hmm.
last thing in my mind. I just wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be better, improve. And then when an opportunity presented itself, whether it was with that company or outside of the company,
Mm-hmm.
that I would be prepared to take advantage of that opportunity and grow.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people try to squish a brother. You hear the crabs in the barrel,
Right.
that type of
Right.
stuff. Those were the early challenges, I would say, in my career.
Okay. Now, if talking to those entrepreneurs who are starting out now in this field, I know the challenges that they face today are different. Can you address that and give them some insight or some guide?
Yeah, I would say, capital is always one of the biggest challenges, depending on what type of business that you have. I have a streaming internet radio station, and I built a lot of relationship capital. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, I was able to get things done um, probably cheaper than other people were only because of the relationships, and I could
Mm.
exchange my gifts and talents to help them
Mm-hmm.
with things I needed. For example, building a website, getting a logo
Mm-hmm.
designed,
Mm-hmm.
getting graphic work or artwork done. Um, so relationships are really, really key. Where I
Mm-hmm.
had very few capital dollars, I had millions of dollars worth of capital relationship
Right.
that really helped me to navigate and be able to execute and do things that otherwise I would have made the journey a little longer, a little more
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So relationships are key. Establishing authentic, genuine relationships, that goes a long way. My business is really hard to speak on that because it's in the music and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Mm-hmm.
was a catering company or like an accountant or something like that, I think their challenges would be a lot more difficult than mine. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
People knew that I had a great reputation, I had a great track record, and they were seeking me out
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
help them to grow their
Mm-hmm.
business and their career. So from that vantage point, my path was a little easier. Does that make sense at
Yes,
all?
and,
Am I
and
making
yes, it
sense?
does. And what I hear
Okay.
you saying is they have to focus on making sure that they're an asset to their target audience. They have to make sure that they're an asset to the people that they're networking with.
Right.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
while you were strolling along and doors just magically opening for you throughout your career here, by 2020, you had decided to launch the JAS Consulting and Entertainment. What prompted that?
Yeah, well, I was laid off from the company that I worked with for
Mm-hmm.
nearly 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout my career, at that time, it was 36 years.
Okay.
Now it's 40 years. I have to
Okay.
update my information. And so what I decided to do for myself was to do what I did for others
Uh-huh.
successfully throughout
Uh-huh.
my career.
Uh-huh.
And so during the pandemic, I knew people weren't really looking to hire anybody with my experience and what my salary would
Mm-hmm.
command.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to create a business doing those things, coordinating concerts, events,
Mm-hmm.
special
Mm-hmm.
events, um, consulting radio. And
Mm-hmm.
then somebody asked me if I would represent their artist as a record rep. And that was a space I had never done before.
Okay.
Never. And that's a difficult job. I was on the other side of the desk where people would solicit radio airplay
Mm-hmm.
from me. Hey, here's a
Right.
great new
Right.
song. Would you play it? And you say yay or nay, depending on if you think it would help your radio station. So people were asking me to do the opposite. And they
Mm-hmm.
were encouraging. They said, Jerry, you do well. You've done this for a long time. You've got a great relationship. You've got a great track record and people trust you. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 until a little light bulb went off. And I was like, well, I am unemployed. Nobody's looking to hire anybody. So I prayed about it
Still
and
think
God
about it.
gave
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
the instructions. I followed his instructions
Mm-hmm.
and I did it. And right now, 3 of my
Oh,
clients are top 20
yes.
on
Awesome.
the Billboard Gospel Radio Chart and Media Base. One of the clients is top 15 since I've been doing it now for a little over 4 going on 5 years. I've had 10 top 10 songs, and it's been an amazing journey. I have done really, really well in that space and some amazing clients. And I pinch myself because
Mm.
I'm like, man, that saying you can do all things is so true
Mm.
if you trust, you believe. But like the point that I have to make is none of this stuff is easy. It's not like pixie dust that
Right. Right.
comes
Right.
down and
Right.
all
Right.
of a sudden
Right.
you do well. You got to put in the work. You got to
Mm.
educate yourself. You got to surround yourself with like-minded people and good things will happen. So
Mm.
my success, and I've had an amazing career and journey, was a lot of blood, sweat, tears, hard work, and educating myself. I didn't just sit on my behind and all these great things happen.
Mm-hmm. So, as if for those who are artists who are out there and they just want the representation, what do you do? What do you have to offer them? Let's say I'm an artist and I just don't know where to do with my music. I don't know where to go.
That's a great question. I call it same faces in the same places. And what I mean by that is there's so many talented artists, but they're outsiders looking in. What they perceive will help them to get radio airplay nationally as
Mm-hmm.
well as abroad. And
Mm-hmm.
it's the furthest thing from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a formula, there's a science
Mm.
to it. It all boils down to the music. The music has to be good to even have a
Mm-hmm.
shot,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you can't avoid it. You got to get somebody that you know will work hard on your behalf. You have to be able to have the money for the investment.
Mm-hmm.
People that are doing really well in that space, that are getting a return on their investment, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how
Mm-hmm.
they view it. They view it as a business.
Mm-hmm.
They're investing the money to get the job done so that they can get a return. So you got to get somebody you trust. You can't do it yourself. You've got to get a person like me that has a relationship with decision makers to get your music played. I tell people my job when I work music and records is to be a professional beggar. I'm on the phone 5 days a week,
I understand
begging people to play your music, to stay on them like a fly on doo-doo, just, in their ear.
I got you.
Every single day, pushing your music. You can't do it because 9 out of 10, you've got a full-time job. That's your main way of bringing income into your home to take care of your bills, your family, your responsibilities. And what I do is a full-time job, and that's what it takes in order to be successful. So hire somebody, pay what it costs to get the job done, then you will see the benefits of your hard work, your gifts, and your talent.
Okay. And just so they know, you are not just local, you're global. You would take clients from anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny because I'm in the Triangle area and there's so much talent here. But
I can imagine.
The majority of my clients are all across the country. And for some reason, Texas loves me. And I love you too, Texas.
Well, Louisiana love you too.
Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas. A lot of my clients come from that area, and I love it. I love it.
A lot of talent there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of talent there. Now, can you explain the vision behind Favor973.com?
Yeah. Well, it goes back to my love for radio. And Favor is a faith-based radio station. We play the best of gospel music from from today, the 2000s, the 90s, and sprinkle in a little 80s and 70s. It's uplifting, it's inspiring. It plays all genres of gospel music, from contemporary to quartet, choir, traditional, praise and worship. I like playing music that speaks to the soul. I like playing music that has that anointing on it to help people get through whatever it is they're going through. Whether it's their relationship, their finances, their health, something that they can relate to and speaks to them, and ultimately gives God the glory, honor, and the praise, helps people to have a better relationship with Him.
Yes, well, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So what are the key steps in building a successful broadcasting career? Over your 38 years, what do you say is the key steps?
I would say to be humble and hungry. And when I say that, a lot of people want to, especially the younger generation, I love you. But a lot of times they want their path to be really short.
Yes.
Without putting in the work and learning the craft.
Yes.
I would say humble and hungry. Every job that I've had, I've started at the bottom, the lowest man on the totem pole, only to ascend to the top position of every radio station. And I view it as just taking steps up a ladder. One of the things I never do is act like I know more than I know.
Right.
Because if you're called on it and you can't respond to it, then you look really, really bad and you lose credibility. So I will humble myself and say, I don't know the answer to that, but let's find out. I don't know how to do that, but I know I'm a smart individual and I can learn. Either somebody can teach me or I can educate myself on it and I can do it. People love that. I've had some coworkers that act like they knew more than they knew, and when they were called on it, they couldn't deliver. And guess what? They ended up firing themselves because they were so paranoid that they had been exposed that they lied about their knowledge. So staying humble, staying hungry, and just put yourself in a position to advance when those opportunities present themselves. Don't have the crab in the barrel mindset, because I truly believe when you do bad to others, when you go after something to put yourself in a position that it doesn't work out. It's a short-term type of advancement, but in the big scheme of things, God don't like ugly, and it comes back to bite you. Karma is mug.
Right. So keep yourself in the right line, right frame of mind. So how do you define success in the radio entertainment business?
Ooh. You know, I've received a lot of accolades. I don't do anything
Rightfully
for
so.
accolades. Thank you. Success is in making an impact on people's lives, whether it's your staff, the company you work for, your community. That's a level of success. I've had people that said I was a motivation or an inspiration for them to do well in radio, or they heard something that I said, or they saw me doing works in action, and that was a motivation for them to do well. It's so funny we're having this conversation, because I was just having this about, I call it sowing seeds of success in young men and women. That's why I'm here today. And I encourage people to sow a seed into these young men and women that want to be entrepreneurs by making a donation to this amazing platform. But I like to sow seeds of success, that you can do anything that you want to do. If God put it in your heart, it's already done. You just got to work for it. Educate yourself. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, scientist, whatever it is, an entrepreneur, you can do it, but you got to educate yourself. You got to work. Nothing in life is free or without hard work. And when they come back years later and they said, Mr. Smith, I heard you say this and this, and I graduated college and I'm working in my profession. That's success. That's success, because I sowed that seed and I gave them the encouragement that they can go on to do great things, because I hear the opposite. You ain't going to be nothing.
Right.
What? You want to be a lawyer? Boy, you come from the projects. You come from nothing. You ain't going to be nothing. No. I don't care where you come from, the rural area, the country, or the hardest projects, in the city. Yeah. Whatever you're destined to do, that's you as an individual, and you can do it. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. But know that every obstacle is going to be in the way. Everything is going to come at you, keep you from that. But just like me, from the High Ridge Gardens, Danbury, Connecticut, the projects, you know what I mean? My parents worked hard to get us out of that environment, but it was all there. I mean, I have a huge family, and unfortunately, it's sad to say that the majority of them have substance abuse issues or in jail. But my life turned out completely different. No different surroundings, same environment, but I wanted to do something with my life. And I know that there are a bunch of young men and women just like me who come from humble backgrounds, and some folks who are watching now who have made it and had similar backgrounds. So that's why it's important to me to sow that seed of success in them. And when they are successful, I feel successful.
Absolutely. And I think it was you who said we come into the world looking like our parents, but we die looking like our consequences. Is that what you said the last time?
No, I didn't, but I'm going to use it.
Run with somebody on the Black Business Network. I'm telling you, I get pick up all kind of nuggets. I love the Black Business Network and what they're doing. Yeah. So in addition to knowing yourself and employing yourself according to your own capabilities, how do you define success in the radio and entertainment business? Not just defining success, but what are the most critical skills for managing and growing that digital radio station?
Well, gosh,
I know that was a lot.
That's a great question. And I'm still trying to find the answer to that. God has blessed me to be competitive, and that comes from my sports background. I used to be an amateur boxer, So you have to think strategically. I played basketball just like Dr. Eric Kelly, soccer. That's what got me into college. And I like to operate at a high level. But what I have to do is try to figure out what's the meat and potatoes, because it's hard to, and I'm still trying to figure out how do I balance all of that. Now, right now, helping my clients get their music played on radio and climb the charts it's a lot of heavy lifting there. That's where, as a part of my business, the lion's share of the revenue stream that's coming into JAS Consulting. So that gets a lot of my attention. And the internet station gets not quite as much attention as that part of the building business, but I do want to make sure that it is in excellence. So I'm trying to figure out how I can grow my revenue stream on that aspect, because it's a great medium. What it is designed for small businesses, and hopefully some people watching now will inquire about it, but it's to give you an opportunity to do some marketing, get the word out about your products, goods, and services, relatively inexpensive. I know how expensive it is to advertise on terrestrial radio. And that's a lot for a lot of small businesses that are just trying to make people aware of what they do. I know that what these small businesses do is great. My business is a small business doing great things out of the triangle here in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina, helping people make thousands of dollars. And so I know that there are small businesses all around the world, just like mine, that have quality products, goods, and services, and they just need a little help of getting the word out. And that's really what my station Favor is all about. A great quality product, but to let people know about their products, goods, and services, and hopefully draw business to what they're doing.
Okay. Now, entrepreneurs in this field, what approach should they take when they're considering their marketing budget?
Marketing is everything.
Okay.
Social media is a great thing. Also, I would say partnering. Well, let me back up. So like my business is so niche that it's, hard to answer that. But for me, you do have to set aside a budget. I find that for what I'm trying to do, because I'm in the digital space, that advertising in the digital space makes the most sense for me. So social media platforms is where I choose to spend my money, my capital on. Also, I look for partnerships in terms of businesses, or in my case, the faith-based community, to attach myself to something that they're doing. Hey, I can help you promote your business. I would like to be a part of it. I'd like to be on site so I can market my radio station to people that may not be aware of it, so I can build up listenerships, and maybe even some potential business may come by and say, hey, I wasn't aware of your platform. Give me information on what it costs to advertise.
Okay. Now, what strategy do you use to maintain your audience engagement across the platforms?
Still, again, social media. Again, I do a lot of interviews with either artists or businesses to promote their business, especially the clients that advertise, and Facebook, Instagram, those platforms to promote my business.
So how do you select and curate content for the favor973.com to ensure it's relevant?
Yeah, whatever people are talking about, whatever's in the news, in the headlines, you stay away from politics. I learned early in my career that there's only two sides, and you'll make one side happy and you'll make the other side not happy, regardless of what side you're on. So if I'm for Kamala, then the people for Trump are not going to be happy. If I'm for Trump, then the people for Kamala are not going to be happy. And so that's always a difficult thing, because you want people to know who you stand for and what you're for and what you're supporting. So politics is something that I just report what's out there. But my opinion, I'll stay neutral.
Yep, I got you. Hard to get people to understand when you say I'm on God's side. That's the side I'm on. Anyway.
Yep.
Besides that, what lessons did you learn from your leadership roles at the Light 103.9? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Ooh, leadership roles. Leadership is not easy. It's not. One of the things that I've learned is that I can't expect people to be as passionate about things I am. And I have to respect them and their vision. I think big. I think that nothing is impossible. If they can do it in Dallas, Texas, what part? You're from Texas, right?
Louisiana.
Oh, you're Louisiana. What part of Louisiana?
Yes.
What part
I'm in
of
Lafayette. Well, actually, Karen Crow, but
okay.
about 2.5 hours from New Orleans. Yeah, right by New Orleans.
Do some great things in Lafayette. Well, guess what? We can do some great things here in Raleigh too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They can do some great things in New York and Miami and LA and Chicago. So just because we're in Raleigh, North Carolina, doesn't mean that we're lesser. Just because we're a gospel radio station doesn't mean we're lesser than the country station, the hip hop station, the R&B, the rock station. But not everybody has that same vision or that outlook. But they got to where they are with their hard work, their vision, their dream, and their path. The path may have been different. The passion may be different. So you got to learn to respect that. And so I used to, at some point, hold people like to my standards. And then I realized, you know what, that's not really fair. Them. You just have to respect them with where they are. And the only thing you can do is to try to help them grow. And my staff would be like, oh, Lord, here's Jerry, another lecture. He's got to tell us every little detail on why he made this decision. But I want to help them grow. So when I'm not there, that they can function at a high level. Because a lot of times the person at the top may make things seem easier than it actually is. And then all of a sudden when they're not there, it's like, oh, snap. He made it look so easy. And it's not that easy. And I wish I would have paid closer attention to it. So I still, want them to succeed and be successful, but also respect where they are and their path and their journey. Does that make sense at all?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And I hate that we're running out of time. I'm going to try to put one more question in there. Now, for those entrepreneurs who are starting out and trying to reach their goal, but haven't aspired to where you are now, what was your process for taking favor973.com to the Stellar Awards nominee stage?
Operate in the spirit of excellence. Everything you do, like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. If somebody else can present their business in a spectacular, professional way, you can too. And it's important because perception is reality. When I was launching my station, I wanted the logo to look big time. I wanted the sound to sound big time. I wanted everything perfect. I didn't want it to look like something that my niece or nephew that's in middle school
threw together.
And I see a lot of businesses that try to cut corners, and they don't look very professional. So, operate in the spirit of excellence and think of it. You're trying to draw business to your business, and what people see is how you're going to be perceived. And just work hard. Don't make any compromise. Don't be afraid to reach out to other people who have, like myself, who've gone through the journeys, the trials and tribulations, and that can help you, that relationship capital, because the capital helped me get further along than anything else. And I just can't emphasize that enough.
Thank you so very much. Remember, relationship capital is key, and make sure your business represents the best side of you. Thank you again so much for being with us. I look forward to seeing you again. It's a pleasure to speak with you every time.
Thank you. And don't forget to donate to the kids. Donate.
Thank you. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App on the screen below. Say $BBX USA. Thank you so much, Terry. Can I call you Terry?
Yes.
Terry? Can I call you Jerry? Okay, thank you so much. And we appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. You do a great job, by the way.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much.
God bless you.
You too. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 up to 10 students. And students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Remember, every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. Remember, genius is key, and we'll see you on the other side. We want to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors. That's NC 100, Suede Soul, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, Marge McLean Foundation, Genius is Common, Executive Women's Success Institute, The Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Service, Creative Force Studio, LE Entertainment, Black Business Olympics, Artistic App Design, the Banks Law Firm, Black Business Expo USA. And once again, thank you again, Jerry, and we appreciate you. Remember, genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side. Oh, I think they want us to share some more. While we got a few minutes before we go to commercial, tell us again how we can reach you.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I can't believe I didn't give that information out. My website.
You gave out some good information. You were good.
Oh, thank you. My website is jerrysmith03.com, and that has all the information about all of my services. jerrysmith03.com. It'll take you to JAS Consulting and Entertainment. I couldn't get the domain name for that website because there's another JAS Consulting out there. My phone number is 919-395-4905, 919-395-4905. And again, thank you for the opportunity. And I hope I said something that touched your heart that will encourage you, inspire you to make a donation to this great cause, because we have to really help those young men and women that want to do something with their lives. They're not trying to just coast by. They've got that entrepreneurship in their heart. So let's fuel that fire and help them get to the next level.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And last minute, those who can benefit from your service. If you're just out there, you don't know, say I'm an engineer, I'm working in music, who can benefit from your service?
I tell you what, people that have a small business and want to get the word out about their products, their goods, and their services, you can benefit from it. If you have a radio station, and you need somebody to help guide you, I've worked in various radio formats: hip hop, R&B, rock, top 40. I did everything but country and jazz. I can help you by consulting with your radio station. If you're interested in having a digital radio station, an internet streaming radio station, I can help you. I've helped to launch 3 of those with my company, and I consult some others. I can help you in that area. If you are a recording artist and you want your music played on the radio, I do consulting for that side of the business as well. I can help you actually to get your music played on the radio. My services do that as well. If you're thinking about putting on a workshop or a concert, a comedy show, I can help in that area as well. I've done numerous of those comedy shows, the gamut. And I love all of it. I'm passionate about it. And I just love creating great things. So those are some of the things that I can help with.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. Please continue to do what you do. And I look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Likewise. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Guys, thanks for joining us. Remember, genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side.
Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City, USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Welcome to Intentionality with Dominique, the show that helps business owners become valued and in-demand suppliers in the marketplace to scale their businesses. Let's start today's show with host and intentional connector, Dominique Simpson-Milton.
It's my favorite question to ask, but what would you say is the difference between working in your business versus working on your business?
Oh my goodness, it's a mindset for sure. And prior to working with the council and working with you, I don't even know that I placed as much emphasis and importance on it. But now I understand the importance of working on the business, which is that business development, strategic planning, taking that 30,000 foot view, every 6 months and definitely at least once a year to find out what's working well, what's not, pivoting if there's a need to pivot, adding new verticals. Like that's working on the business. Working in the business is the day-to-day operations.
Putting out fires in the day-to-day, responding to emails, that type of thing. And working on the business is setting a strategy based on, what's going on in your various industries. What are the trends, and making sure that you are doing the steps to stay in front of those trends.
As you grow and as you evolve, I'd say there are a couple of things to that. One is, if you are in the weeds every single day. And quite frankly, when you start a business, there's not a lot of, it's hard not to be, right? Because you're probably small when you start. There are probably not enough resources for the things that you have to do. That's normal. But as you grow and as you evolve, you start to understand that if your view is here, then you cannot gain the perspective to see all of the interrelationships and all of the opportunities and all of the strategic maneuvers that you should be doing in order to take grow your business in step functions as opposed to incremental.
Well, working in the business is doing everything. You wear all the many hats. Working on the business is finding out what hat you like and then being able to put in processes, systems, people that will help complement your skills.
Chasing the dollars, trying to make sure payroll is done. You have enough work to cover payroll and $2 or $3 in your pocket. The next thing you know, year after year, you're in a rat race. You never been trained to develop your business or to take it to another level.
As long as I can focus on where we are going, because no one else is doing that in the company except for me. So if I can see, here's where we're going, and I need all 10 of y'all to come with me, then if we all do that together, then the business grows because everyone is focused on the thing they're supposed to be focused on.
Love that.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of business owners, particularly when you're just getting started, you're wearing multiple hats. I tell people all the time, I was always letter E, all of the above, when we used to fill in those multiple choice tests. And even now I still do a lot, but what is really great is that right now I'm in Richmond. My team back in Raleigh is handling everything. I don't have to pick up the phone. I don't have to check that email because I know that they can take on whatever is being thrown at them.
Take time to slow down in order to speed up. Invest in CVM SDC developmental programs each year to grow your business. Working in equals maintaining. Working on equals growth. Visit cvmsdc.org for more information on our development programs. Email us at info@cvmsdc.org.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BDXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
Artist to me is a creative expression of something from nothing. You know, it explodes onto the canvas, or it explodes on in my work. One of the things that I try to do more than anything is I try to just give the lines and the movements and emotions and expressions into what I do. Art really means to me a chance to express how I feel deep down inside. Most of my art begins as a thought that I might have, you know, whether it's sports, whether it's history, whether it's a woman or a man. It pretty much starts as an idea of thought before I get into the actual image of what I'm going to draw. I do a lot of historical pieces. I was a history minor in college, and I love to do history pieces. And a lot of times I'm thinking about history, and then I try to make that history impact you as you look at it. That's one of the reasons I do pictures so large. People ask me, why do I do pictures so big? And I tell them, I want the piece to impact them as they're looking at it, to kind of dominate them, to dominate their space. And most of my pieces I try to do off page. I don't try to do anything that's going to be in those four corners or in a square. And I want your imagination to be a part of the piece that you're looking at.
Here's why you need to tune in right now. With CTR Media Network, you can transform your knowledge into a fully produced TV show. Imagine your content streaming on platforms like Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV, reaching over 350 million households in 140 countries. We take care of everything, from managing your ready-to-go content to global distribution. And it's not just any content, it's edutainment, a perfect blend of education and entertainment that keeps viewers coming back for more. You'll join a vibrant community of thought leaders, podcasters, and educators, all sharing a passion for impactful content and global reach. Plus, with our app available on Google Play and the App Store, your show will be accessible to millions more, ready to shine on the global stage. Let's get you started. Schedule a 15-minute call with us today and turn your idea into a TV sensation. Reply to this video by saying, "I want to learn more." Don't wait, your audience is out there waiting.
I stop.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Ravina Amos, and I am your business moderator for this season of the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about businesses. Today, we have with us Dr. Tina Ramsey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Dr. Tina Ramsey is a 4-time best-selling international author, inspirational speaker, actress, and CEO of the CTR Media Network, an innovative entertainment streaming podcast and TV network. With over a decade of experience in media, multiple certifications, 2 honorary doctorates, and as a KBB University Business School graduate, she empowers podcasters and entrepreneurs to build credibility, create impact, and generate income through media and podcasting, reaching millions of households. More than 500 episodes and 1,500 videos under her belt, she has been a content creator since 2013, firmly establishing herself as a pioneer in the podcast media industry. Dr. Ramsey has empowered countless content creators, podcasters, and streaming TV professionals to achieve entrepreneurial success. As a podcast and TV distribution coach, she guides individuals in leveraging their platforms effectively and maximizing their reach and input. Dr. Ramsey's visionary leadership, CTR Media Network integrates the power of AI and independent content creation into podcasting and entrepreneurship, providing innovative solutions that enable creators to expand their influence and connect with diverse university. And beyond the professional achievement, Dr. Ramsey is a dedicated wife, mother, community leader, and media leverage coach, renowned for her global impact in empowering others. Welcome, 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 Dr. Tina Ramsey.
CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
Hello, how are you? I can't hear you.
There you go. Thank you. I'm fine, Nubian Queen. How are you?
I'm great. How about you? You've been doing so good with this moderation. I'm
doing my best.
I'm sitting there saying, oh my girl.
See, I got to live up to Dr. Kelly's standards, you know.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
I feel the same way about you and to be on this platform. So thank you, Dr. Eric, Dr. Kelly.
Now we're going to jump right into the business side of this. What inspired you to merge business and education as a focal point in your career?
Well, to me, it just makes sense. When you think about education is just basically the foundation of entrepreneurship. And once you figure out how to merge the two together to be able to provide a entrepreneurship or a business structure around educating people and then turning around and make it a business. I mean, it's the best of both worlds. So I can't see not being an educator in entrepreneurship. I can't even see it without it being that way.
Okay. So how do you believe podcasting can be a powerful tool for entrepreneurships and educators?
The reason why I feel like podcasting is a powerful tool is because of its accessibility.
Okay.
It's very accessible. It's something that can merge the gap between any type of income. It doesn't matter if you're low income, high income. It doesn't matter if you are well educated or not.
Right.
Who do not have a cell phone. And so it's able to connect, it's able to distribute, it's able to inspire and motivate people to change right in the palm of their hands. And so that's why I feel that podcasting is just one of those things that allow you to make that global reach, that global impact. And for business owners who are looking to advertise, it just makes sense from the economic standpoint that you can continuously advertise yourself over and over and over again, and also offer that same opportunity to other people as well.
Now, what strategies do you recommend for entrepreneurship who want to build credibility in the industry?
First of all, you have to be consistent. I did not say perfect. I said consistent. And when you are consistent and showing up, even when it's not easy to show up, that builds credibility in itself. Then you have to establish yourself where the people are. They're on social media. They also at events. You go and speak on virtual like I'm doing today. You also have books. You need to establish yourself in written and digital form so people can basically create the story about you. And so when you master the art of visibility, it actually helps you because now people can go and Google you. People can look you up and it builds that trust and credibility.
Okay. So you're saying the media plays a prominent role in business reach and education and educating your target audience?
Of course, because when you think about it, look what we're doing right now. We're streaming online. That is up under the umbrella of media. And so this is a quicker, faster way for your audience, for other audience to get to know me. And it also make it a more personable thing where people feel like they already know you because they actually heard you on the podcast. They saw you interviewing like that. Now I feel like I know you, and I just laid eyes on you today, but I heard you speak and I was like, I connect with her spirit. So it's just a really, really good way for us as entrepreneurs to be able to get in front of more people, to express our mission and be able to make a greater impact quicker.
Right. Now, what advice would you give to a small business owner who wants to start creating educational content as you have?
Well, I would say this, make it entertaining. It has to be a blend of education and entertainment. That's why CTR Media Network is a blend of it, because even though you know that you have great information, but people have stressful days, even children. And how can you deliver this content in a way that will make it easy for them to learn, not feeling like you talking over their head, and make it accessible and make them feel motivated at the same time? So having a good blend of it being educational, but yet entertaining, I would say use that, because I mean, listen, at the end of the day, people like to smile, people like to laugh, but also they want to learn. So make it, don't be boring. In other words, don't be boring. And that is what you can do. And also get other tools, like you can use StreamYard in order for you, if you're not a techie person, you can use StreamYard in order to record your information. You can go and get on Spotify for creators and then upload your content so that it can get, you can have a wider audience. So I feel like every entrepreneur should have some sort of media, and also build a strong social media presence on social media in itself, because these things are available to us. So use them.
So how can businesses effectively use storytelling to build connections and grow their brands?
Who don't love a good story? Storytelling is the art of being able to take a person on an emotional ride that leads to the destination that you want them to go. So even if you have a story that has trauma in it, you can start from the trauma, but I tell people to be responsible with when you're dispensing this. Don't take people on a roller coaster ride on emotions and don't give them some hope at the end. Tell them about, yes, I went through this, but look at what happened next. Tell the story, paint the picture so that they can see that they too can overcome. And if you're the one providing the solution, then guess what? They're coming to you, because now they feel comfortable. Now they trust you. Now you have credibility. And guess what? You just humanize yourself by telling your story. Storytelling is just humanizing yourself to let people see your life through the lenses of theirs. And if you are at a different level than them, being able to help them see that they too can overcome, they too can achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve.
Okay. So how have your experiences as a leader in the podcast industry shaped your perspective on entrepreneurship?
Well, when you say, how do it shape me as a leader? I laugh because other people say, you're a leader. But to me,
absolutely.
But to me, I'm just a person that is on a mission. I know my assignment from God. I call myself a messenger. Yes, I'm just delivering the message. I'm doing the vision came to me. I made a plan. I'm being obedient to what God wants me to do. And so I just happen to be labeled as a leader. But how it actually helped me, podcasting helped me a lot, because when I first started podcasting years ago, I did not start podcasting as a means of being an impact, in a means of starting a business. I started because I needed an outlet. I needed some place where I could share how I was feeling as a mom, as a wife, being a mom with experience of having a special needs child, also being a mom that has a child that is in the top 4% of the most gifted kids in the county, and then also turning around, being a young mother that had a stroke, went to sleep one night, had a stroke, woke up and was partially paralyzed from the waist down, and had amnesia and totally forgot that I had my daughter, because anything within that year I couldn't remember, and trying to come with grips of reality. So it was just basically therapeutic for me, because I didn't want to go to a therapist, because I didn't want people to think that I was crazy. Because in our culture, they'd be like, "You going to a therapist? What's wrong? You know, what's wrong with you?" So I was like, I can't let nobody see me going to a therapist. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, that's stigma. You know, it's damaged many people.
I don't feel like that now. I'll go, but I'm just saying at that time, that was my mindset at that time. But so I just simply did it to be able to do a dump.
That's therapeutic.
So that I can get over it, so that I can come back and be the wife, be the mother, be the leader, and to do what I needed to do. I just needed an escape. And that's why I initially started podcasting.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing it, because that could be somebody else's saving grace. Now, what advice would you give, and I'm getting a little bit off the sheet here, but what advice would you give those who are thinking about starting a podcast, but they don't even know how to begin or where to start?
Well, that's easy.
Okay.
I just put out a course for absolutely free, where they can watch on CTR Media Network, where I'm actually showing them from scratch, real time on the video, how to start the podcast real time, showing them on Spotify for creators, because it's a free platform. And so I'm showing them how to do it. So I would tell a person, the only thing that is stopping you from starting a podcast is you. Drop all the excuses. I don't have the right lighting. I don't have the right mic. I don't have something to say. I don't have a script. Nobody don't want to hear my voice, my story. I don't like the way I look. Listen, no. Stop it. Stop the excuses, because I'm here to tell you that there are a group of people on this earth today that will not move unless they hear your voice.
Right.
And it's very selfish on your behalf to not do the podcast because of some type of insecurity with you. You have to get out of your own way, and you need to go ahead and push forward. And I guarantee the words will come out. Do not get sucked into the mindset of being perfection. Just go ahead, work with what you have. Everything will come in time. When I started, I did not have a mic, didn't even know how to even buy the proper mic. I used my cell phone. And guess what? Spotify and iHeartRadio, during the time where they weren't even letting podcasts on platforms like that, they reached out to me and said, "We absolutely love your show. We would like to put it on Spotify."
Wow.
Yeah, that was when Spotify was completely music only, no podcast.
Right.
And then it was like, iHeart said, "Oh, we love your podcast. Can we put your podcast up?" I'm like, "Yeah, right." iHeartRadio deal with radio hosts. I came from the radio world, I know. And Spotify, it's just music. So I thought it was a scam. But guess what? It was for real. It was true. And I was doing my podcast from my cell phone in my bedroom, sitting in the lazy boy, setting up me some little ambiance with a little candle and trying to get my little radio voice on, speaking. And it was good enough just the way it was.
Right.
So just go ahead and start. You'll get better. You can fine tune it as you go.
So your podcast really started without guests, just you speaking. Okay, I understand.
It was just me, solo. I would tell people I was solo dolo, no guests. Didn't even come to my mind that I should interview anyone. I mean, literally, when I started my podcast, it was only me for 2 years. And I did not even think anybody would even want to come on my show until they start watching. They was all watching. And then someone said, "I would love to be a guest on your show." And I was like, do I do that? And then I prayed to God, I'm like, should I do that? Is this you telling me I need to start having guests? And that's when I started having guests on my show. But it was 2 years later. People came just to listen to me. So you're good enough just doing a solo show. You don't have to have guests, okay? You're your first guest.
But you are definitely a leader, honey, because you inspired me. I'm ready to go start my podcast. I got something to say. Let me go start mine. Okay. Now, in your opinion, what makes media and education such a powerful combination for driving social and economic change?
Think about it. Look what we're doing today. This network, the Black Business Network, right now is putting out the call to showcase and spotlight Black-owned businesses where we don't usually get enough positive light on our businesses, pulling us all together from all over the world. Look how powerful that is. And then your initiative is to bring together all of us so that we can support the scholarship program to help pay it forward, to help high school children be able to get scholarship money. You're doing it through the power of media. You could have written a letter, but do people really use letters and stamps like they used to? Some children don't even know what a stamp is, okay?
I know.
So,
I know.
listen, they know what media is. I mean, they don't. And so the thing is, they know what social media is. So you have to tap into what the people are using and what they're comfortable with if you want to make an initiative and a positive impact that will surpass your lifespan. People will be able to see this even after we're no longer here and can see the movement that's happening right now. And that in itself is powerful because we are, in essence, creating our digital legacy now.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, what role does community engagement play in making educational accessible and impactful?
Well, I would say this, community is very important because just as we as entrepreneurs need the community to support what we're doing, we also need the community. Once we listen to the things that you need, we need you to come in and support. Because if we tell them, hey, we need X amount of dollars in order to do this scholarship, give out these many computers, or be able to provide media coverage for these many amazing business owners, it has to still be paid for. And so if someone patronized that part of our business and we create these programs that you said you wanted community and you don't show up, it's telling the investors, it's telling the grantors, it's telling the people who donated that there's no need. So we have to make sure our words and our actions match. So that we can continuously get the help, get the funding that we need in order to keep making an impact in the community, whether it's dealing with education, whether it's dealing with media, whether it's just dealing with putting a plate of food on the table for the day. But we need, both sides have to show up. There's no way that we have to equally show up in order for the impact to be great.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier that you did a free web class on how to start your podcast. Can you give us some more information on that for those because we went kind of fast through that. Can we tell them how to do that?
Okay, sure. So we actually have our own app. Like we said, or in the beginning, whichever part the person come in, because I always say different people pop in.
Right.
We actually have our own TV and podcast distribution platform. And so you can just go download our app. You can watch us just like on this platform, all over on Amazon, Roku, and all the different places. But you go in your phone and you search CTR Media Network, download our app, and then when you download the app, you scroll down to events and webinars, and you will see that free course on how to start a podcast from scratch on Spotify. And I'm literally walking you through starting a podcast real time. You can literally go there today, watch the video, and have a podcast this evening, like for free. And listen, I'll be honest, I'm be totally 100. I usually charge a good little fee to do all of that. And it's in my best-selling #1 book. But God told me this is the year for all of us to thrive. And this is our year. And
I got the same message, but I'm going to move on. Okay.
No excuses. You're going to thrive. We're going to thrive this year. We're going to thrive. I don't care what's going on around here. What you seeing around, that's a lie. We're going to thrive. Everybody with the kingdom of God, we're going to thrive.
Yes, it
that's
is.
it. Okay, started here, girl.
No, I'm not. I'm going to Dr. Kelly going to fire both. How can parents and educators prepare students to develop entrepreneurial mindset?
Well, the thing is, we have to expose the children to entrepreneurship and expose it in a way that is fun, that's engaging, that shows them that they can actually do it. And so one thing that I see that I didn't even have in the beginning that was really difficult for me was financial literacy. Of course, I knew how to pay bills, go work, and be able to get a paycheck and disperse, do the basic. But really, how do you invest? How do you really do payroll properly, making sure that you have enough income coming in to pay your employees or your independent contractors. We have to have these financial conversations with our children to prepare them early, because if we don't, it's not going to erase it. They're going to have to deal with it. The thing is, we want them to be prepared. Okay. And I wasn't prepared in many ways. And I feel like that is something that we definitely have to do. And also we have to expose them to how they can utilize all of this media in a positive, productive way that can create an impact and income at the same time. So they won't be totally dependent on everyone else, but they can also create something that they're proud of, create their own legacy, because Lord knows they come out of the womb knowing how to work this electronic. I mean, young people. So why not use that ingenuity and give them something to do that is productive, that can actually sustain their life? So let's go ahead and get it done.
Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with you. Preparation plus opportunity equals success when they meet together. Right. So how can parents and educators, while they're preparing them, what are some of the, what are some of the innovative ways that you've seen education being used to empower the underserved or the underprivileged communities?
Well, some innovative ways that I have seen that I also have used myself is podcasting. A lot of schools and universities are now using podcasting and media streaming like we're doing now in order to connect their faculty to the teachers, and also connect the students with the teachers and the parents, and also the children with other children in order to help with homework. So right now, AI is on the rage. And in the educational realm, people have mixed feelings about AI, but I want you to really think about this. The world is changing. You need to embrace it.
Absolutely.
Because the children that are now, they're going to be left in the world that is going to be totally AI. And if you are so against AI that you're not even willing to learn, you're doing a great disservice for yourself and the children, because it's going to happen regardless if you want it to happen or not. And so the best thing is for us to be able to be innovative, learn how we can use AI to make our lives better as entrepreneurs, as educators, as students. Use it as a tutor to be able to teach you things that you may not normally have access to. So in underprivileged communities, one thing is that they don't usually have access or cannot afford to pay for tutors. There are multiple different AI-driven software, even down with reading. There are a lot of children now that have a deficiency in reading. Did you know that there are apps like Speechify that was created to actually read your emails, to actually read out your books and everything that you're doing for you? Because it's not that these children that has dyslexia can't learn, it's that they have a trouble with reading and maybe comprehension. But if they can hear it and they can see it and track it, they'll be able to filter in the education or the information to stick better. So we need to figure out ways that we can embrace this AI in education as well as in entrepreneurship to make the everyday running of our businesses easier, and also the everyday running of education, and being able to bridge the gap of not being able to have access to certain things just because you happen to live in the projects. Listen, I was raised in the projects back in the day, so I have been in both. I wasn't always in the suburbs, okay? And so that's one thing that I see, and I feel that we all need to see and just start embracing this AI and use it to the fact that it can actually make our lives easier. And I feel like once we do that, I mean, who can stop us then? Like, really, who can stop us? We need to embrace it. So that's how I feel about education. I don't know what happened, but listen, we can keep on going. So I see there's a lot of comments. Okay, I didn't know whether or not you went out or whatever.
No, I did not. I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always here, whether you see me or not. And I'm with you on that, because growing up for us, I think for me particularly, I know moving into the projects would have been a step up. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, my grandmother, she was in the projects, and I spent a lot of time there. So I say I was raised there. When she finally moved away, moved out her mother's home, because we had a farm, a family farm. And then once she got on her own, she moved her children out. Because back in the day, families lived together.
Right.
Back in the day. Right. And so after she finally moved out her own, she was able to get, a place in the projects. And we was like, yeah, we was like happy, and then realizing that wasn't really like, but long story short, you can, I'm glad I have that experience because I know how it is on both sides of the coin. I was able to experience that, and now I know how it feels to be this way, and it also humbles me to never forget. Because even though I'm here now, I want to make sure that you, at least have access to the things that I didn't even know that existed, or be able to create something that be able to give those children or those parents support at the end of the day. At the end of the day,
Yes, thank you. Now, we were talking about the education, and I want to tap a little bit about how does homeschooling fit into that dynamic?
Homeschooling provides freedom and flexibility.
Okay.
And so based upon the state that you're in, it has different, I would say, requirements that we have to abide by based upon your state. So once you do whatever is required by law for your particular state, then you have flexibility to be able to teach. Like for me, I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm a retired homeschooling mom because my baby graduated last year.
Woo,
and this was a child, and this was a child that they said will never be able to be social, will never graduate. He had, developmental delay. They said autism, and they said he'll never, ever, never, ever. And so we took that list of never, ever and turned into the list that he can in all things with God's help and his glory. And he was able to do things. We had to do it a different way, but he was still able to graduate. And so I would say that homeschooling provides you the avenue where we were speaking about financial literacy. You can teach your children financial literacy as part of their math curriculum. You can take them to be exposed and put them in media classes as part of their fine arts. You can go and find scholarships to be able to let them have access to things that they normally wouldn't have access to, or be able to have the opportunity to take had they not been homeschooled. Homeschool opened up my children being able to take scholarship courses with coding at the age of 7 years old. It opened up them being able to take a financial literacy camp. I mean, these children knew more about finances than I did, that I had to learn after I was already a married adult, And so I feel like homeschooling is just that avenue where it opens up. And homeschooling for me was not just homeschooling my children. I was actually schooling myself at the same time. So I found out a lot about myself, learned a lot as we was learning and growing together. So I feel like more children and more families should actually consider it, or even hybrid learning, where you're partly at school and then some you're at home. I feel like they should explore it in some ways, especially if public school is not working for your child. If it's not working, why not give it a try? You don't have to do it by yourself. We have tutors, teachers that can teach them virtually. We have where they can do public homeschool at home, where they're getting taught by public school, but they're doing it in the comfort of their homes. We have homeschooling co-ops. I mean, we have so many options now to it's ridiculous. You can literally find exactly what you're looking for. You just have to have the courage to try it out.
Okay. Yeah. So what tips can you share for entrepreneurs looking to partner with educators and educational institutions?
I would say, make sure that you understand their initiative and their mission. Just don't join someone's opportunity or their business just because you see that they have a large network. Okay. What else do they have that you feel that you can actually be a win-win situation? You're helping them and they're helping you. Can you really? I do not collaborate with anyone's business on a collaborative affiliated type of situation unless I can see their vision.
Okay.
Because I take that very seriously. If I can't see your vision, if I can't understand that, how am I going to articulate your business in the best professional way in order to attract people to your business if I don't even understand it? And so you got to be so good when you collaborate with businesses that you're talking about it so well that people think you the CEO of the business.
Right.
Because that's how much you believe in their mission. That's how much you believe in their cause. That's how much you want them to succeed. And so I'll tell you, do your research.
Yes.
Understand their mission. Volunteer with them first to see, do you really like it? Do your research. Just don't join for frivolous reasons. Join because you really care and you really feel that whatever it is that you're doing can actually help them get closer to their goal. And in essence, they can help you. I don't do anything if it's not a win-win situation, because I believe that everyone to the table should be able to get something from your exchange or interaction.
Yeah. I understand. Thank you. So what do you see as the future of education, and how can business leaders be a part of that transformation?
The future is hybrid, just like I said before. And it's for education, and this is the same for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It's the same for college. If you pay attention, we have hybrid schools. Yeah, they have a campus, but also you can do virtual learning. So you need to make sure in order to succeed as an entrepreneur that whatever you're doing has the potential to be hybrid, where you can have virtual events and in-person events. You can have staff that may not be in your country and staff that is in your country. You need to make sure that if it's education, they need to have in-person and also online. So because that way you will not cut off any demographic, any type of learner or person, because they cannot get in the car and be able to drive. And that also overshadow, or I would say it will also help, because some people do not have transportation, but they have a need. So how are you going to be able to make an impact if you only have a building where people can come?
Brick and mortar.
How are you going to make with that? And also being virtual, it actually cut down your overall overhead costs. So I mean, it's a good business move to have online as well. You can cut your pricing and your structure in half. And you can still provide the same value, if not more. The same experience, other than you just can't touch them. So I feel like the world is hybrid. And the more that we understand that, the more we embrace it, the more we start learning and jumping off the little ledge a little bit and start trying the technology, the better that we will be.
So I'm gonna have one more question for you here. We're gonna go back to the podcast real quick. What advice would you tell somebody? What is the mindset that they have to be in before they should even start their podcast?
They have to have the growth mindset. For those of you that do not know what a growth mindset is, it is the mindset that you are not seeking perfection, but you're seeking to learn and grow. Understanding that you're not going to have all the answers all the time, giving yourself the grace and flexibility to know that everything is not going to be perfect. But the key is that you need to show up and you need to be consistent, and you need to be confident enough to be vulnerable to share when you just don't know anything. Don't go out there saying, "Oh, I know everything." No, nobody knows everything. I don't care how many degrees or whatever I got. I don't know everything. So let people know so they can really connect with you authentically. And basically that in a nutshell, you just have to be willing to know that you will fail sometime. But some of the moments where I failed the most, where I feel like, why me, woe is me situation, was the moments that built that resilience, that knowledge, that information that had I not failed first, I would not be who I am today. I learned more from that than any time when I came in and automatically won or got that accolade. So you learn how to be strong. You learn how to push forward. And so look at failure as an opportunity to grow.
Like I think it was Nelson Mandela that said, "I don't lose, I learn."
You got that right.
Absolutely.
You have that right. So I feel like we look at if we don't get something right the first time as something bad. It's a challenge. It's an obstacle. Well, maybe so, but did you know that actually works out your faith? Right. And it actually works out your business structure to be stronger, because now you have this information that's not in a book, that you had to experience, that you can go teach somebody else how to solve a problem now. Now you just develop the blueprint to what 100 other people is looking for the answer for, that just builds you ready to go stability, profitability map, where you can literally rinse and repeat that solution over and over to different people, and you just created a stream of income that is scalable and sustainable. Yeah, that is what obstacles and challenges and failing forward creates for you. You think I just started out like this? I failed twice, lost everything twice before I got it right with CTR Media Network, baby. I tell people, like, it wasn't easy. It's still not easy. And I tell people, oh, so you want the glory, but you don't want to go through have your story.
They put out the word. It's there.
You have to go through it. You can't take the escalator to life. You have to take the stairs, one step at a time. And that's how you learn, build, and grow.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you. You will hear from me again. I love everything you put out. I'm going to go and I'm going to ctrmedia.net. I will be there watching the podcast, watching the thing. I'm going to set it up.
ctrmedianetwork.com.
Yeah, ctrmedianetwork.com. Okay, I was trying to write real quickly. Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, everybody. ctrmedianetwork.com. We have Dr. Tina Ramsey. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure too. Oh, I'm seeing all the people comment. Hey guys.
Thank you. We appreciate you. The Black Business Expo mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App that's on the screen below. That's the $ BBX USA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students who can register online, www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Remember, every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also want to take this opportunity to thank all of our Black Business Expo USA sponsors. That's the NC100, Sway Soul, Carolina, Virginia Minority Supplier Development Council, Step Management, the Margie McLean Foundation, Genius is Common, Executive Women's Success Institute, the Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Black Business Olympics, Artistic App Design, Banks Law Firm, and the Black Business Expo USA. Thank you for joining us. Remember, genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools. We help them implement, I love to leave the inherited lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income, and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. Wow. I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it. If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that? Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Morris.
Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina.
Join Dr. Eric Kelly III and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school, all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world.
Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome it. We stand for those who defy suppression, who speak out, and those who walk the road less traveled. Everyone deserves to be seen and their voices to be heard. We're sparking a movement, growing a community of creators united by the desire for freedom, choice, equity, and ownership. At Fanbase, it's all for one and one for all. We support each other to guide, promote, and uplift you in a place where you can unapologetically be yourself. A place where your voice, ideas, and creativity are not just welcomed, but celebrated. We are Black founded, minority funded, and supported by a diverse, inclusive, powerful community that believes in the strength of authenticity and individual choice. Regardless of success or background, we welcome you, the marginalized, the underappreciated, the successful, the superstar. We're for all who seek a space to express themselves freely, where they are rewarded for being their authentic, true self. We transcend labels because only we have the right to define ourselves. We are built for the brave, the culture, the creators, and for the future where everyone has the power to shape their own destiny, where all are empowered, voices are amplified, and freedom is embraced. For the first time, you have a chance to own the platform you helped make popular. It's a revolution, a movement in how we connect, create, and share. Everyone is a creator, and everyone has a fan base. Here, you can be you without limits.
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools. We help them implement, I love to leave the inherited lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income, and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. Wow. I nearly lost it all. Wow. When I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it. If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that? Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Wallace.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, prove that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why Be Direct was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. Black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to Be Direct's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business life cycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, Be Direct Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and a commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African, continental, and country specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental-based facilitators. But even more unique to Be Direct Prep, we cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change, and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
My name is Katie Bennett, and I own Lexicon Presents Publishing. We are a publishing and media company that helps you take your story and share it with the world. You know, for a while, I just had my family telling me to just hang it up, get over it, you know, and I had no support. And it was in your program that I really understood the necessity for having that help, having that support. And so now I actually feel like a CEO as we scale, as our clientele changes, as my company is opening doors for other people to, you know, take care of their families. It's just completely changed from just a mom who was publishing books. I was at a point where my job, although it was paying really well, wasn't enough. And my business was always in the red, and I was tired of it. And so I came in just hoping to get some sort of help to just not end up in the red every month. Ooh, wow. Okay, so there was one in particular, I cannot remember his name, but he asked me, he said, why are you in business? And I told him that I wanted to make a difference and I want to help my community. And he let me ramble on for a while. And then when I was done, he was like, okay, all of those things are great. They make you a humanitarian, not a business owner. And he was the one who told me, he's like, you know, you have this great service and you're offering it at like a great value price. So to someone like myself, we don't know that we're going to get the value of what you're actually bringing. And so that gave me the confidence I needed to raise my price. It gave me the confidence to go after my actual client that I actually prefer to work with. And it really just changed everything for me. I don't think without him kind of giving me that push, I don't think I would have gotten to this point or position. Wow, the benefits is just having a coach that holds you accountable. They set goals with you. That's been my favorite part. She has amazing experience, you know, and so she brings her strategies and her ideas, and She helped me narrow down, what services I actually wanted to offer, how I could actually continue to offer it, how many clients at one time could I have. All of the information that she's given has just really transformed my entire company. And so I know I would have never gotten to where I am today and having some of these partnerships that I'm, having now without her help. You're going to get information that you're not going to find on YouTube. You actually take the time to strategically give us the information, then give us time to actually apply it. I would also say that so that you're not just out on a ledge alone trying to figure this out. Like, you deserve to be in a community with other people who also want to grow their business. And then finally, the biggest thing I think I took away from CMET was that I had a whole office in Longwood, I still do, and at the time I had not paid my business tax receipt. I didn't know that was something you had to do. So that was like one of the first couple days of information, and I'm like, oh my gosh, let me go get that together right now. So I'm really glad that, CMET was there for myself, and anybody else who has the opportunity, they need to do it.
Artist to me is a creative expression of something from nothing. It explodes onto the canvas, or it explodes on in my work. One of the things that I try to do more than anything is I try to just give the lines and the movements and emotions and expressions into to what I do. Art really means to me a chance to express how I feel deep down inside. Most of my art begins as a thought that I might have, whether it's sports, whether it's history, whether it's a woman or a man. It pretty much starts as an idea of thought before I get into the actual image of what I'm going to draw. I do a lot of historical pieces. I was a history minor in college, and I love to do history pieces. And a lot of times I'm thinking about history, and then I try to make that history impact you as you look at it. That's one of the reasons I do pictures so large. People ask me, why do I do the pictures so big? And I tell them, I want the piece to impact them as they're looking at it, to kind of dominate their space. And most of my pieces I try to do off page. I don't try to do anything that's going to be in those four corners or in a square. And I want your imagination to be a part of the piece that you're looking at.
Bravery is not the absence of fear, but the ability to overcome it. We stand for those who defy suppression, who speak out, and those who walk the road less traveled. Everyone deserves to be seen and their voices to be heard. We're sparking a movement, growing a community of creators united by the desire for freedom, choice, equity, and ownership. At Fanbase, it's all for one and one for all. We support each other to guide, promote, and uplift you in a place where you can unapologetically be yourself. A place where your voice, ideas, and creativity are not just welcomed, but celebrated. We are Black founded, minority funded, and supported by a diverse, inclusive, powerful community that believes in the strength of authenticity and individual choice. Regardless of success or background, we welcome you. The marginalized, the underappreciated, the successful, the superstar. We're for all who seek a space to express themselves freely, where they are rewarded for being their authentic, true self. We transcend labels because only we have the right to define ourselves. We are built for the brave, the culture, the creators, and for the future where everyone has the power to shape their own destiny, where all are empowered, voices are amplified, and freedom is embraced. For the first time, you have a chance to own the platform you helped make popular. It's a revolution, a movement in how we connect, create, and share. Everyone is a creator, and everyone has a fan base. Here, you can be you without limits.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5 Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming.
I am Black Business.
How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know, a student, a business entrepreneur, or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? That business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dream by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be losers, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of Black business in the history of the world.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Ravana Amos, and I am your moderator for this session of the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about business. Today, we have Tracy Armstrong. Tracy is a certified college funding specialist with over 25 years of experience in education. Transitioning from a dedicated English teacher to a college fund advisor, Tracy has developed a unique approach to college planning. She specializes in creating strategic funding plans tailored for families who earn too much to qualify for significant financial aid, but not enough to comfortably cover college costs without sacrifice. Her comprehensive services compass the 4 cornerstones of college planning: school section, getting admitted, lowering the cost, and paying for it. Tracy's mission is to minimize out-of-pocket expenses for families and guide them on how to recover the cost of college before retirement, ensuring that investing in the child's future doesn't compromise the family financial security. She offers personalized consultations to develop tailored plans that align with each family's financial goal. Tracy is committed to turning cost concern into confidence, helping families send their children to their ideal college for financial strain. And once again, her comprehensive services encompasses the 4 cornerstones of college planning: school selection, getting admitted, lowering the cost, and paying for it. Let's welcome, please, Tracy Armstrong.
Hi,
Tracy,
how are
thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you.
Oh, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
You're quite welcome. And we're going to jump right into it. Tracy, tell us, can you tell us about yourself and your journey to becoming a certified college fund specialist?
Absolutely. Well, as you said in the introduction, I'm an educator, and I've taught for over 25 years. And the majority of my career has been in the space of teaching high school students, high school English. And I work with so many college-bound students. And students will come to me all the time, even before I got into this and started to move more into this industry of college planning. And they will come to me asking me, hey, I need you to help me look at this college essay. Can you help me brainstorm, or can you give me a recommendation letter? And I was also a senior advisor. And so I would talk to parents, and they would say, you know what, my kids want to go to this college, but I really don't even know how to pay for it. And so I realized that there was an issue between students selecting colleges and then parents paying for college. Like there was this disconnect, like the parents, they weren't talking. And then I realized students were just selecting big name colleges, but not really colleges that fit them financially.
Right.
So I just decided, let me do some more studies. So I went back and I got endorsed and certified to become a certified college funding specialist. And this is where I'm at. And I have helped so many families.
Okay. Now, can you provide an overview of the services you offer to the families?
Sure. Well, you mentioned it in the introduction, but I am a holistic company. So
Okay.
basically what I do is I work with students and the parents, and I have this holistic plan where I'm helping the families navigate through the entire process of planning for college. So I have the 4 cornerstones of planning for college. So the first thing is selecting the colleges. So I'm helping students select the colleges. Then I'm helping them strategize to get into college, looking at those common apps and essays and test scores and, rigorous coursework, making sure that the students are on track to get into colleges and making sure they understand what these colleges are looking for. Then I'm also helping families lower the cost of college. With me, we're discounting college. We're not paying that sticker price. I don't care if it says this college is $60,000 a year. We're going to try to get you in for $40,000 or less. So I'm helping families discount college. And then there's always a bill. Even after I do everything, there's still a bill. So now I'm helping families figure out how are they going to pay for college.
Okay. You mentioned that you take the holistic approach. How is that different from the traditional college counseling services?
That's a really good question. Well, first of all, there are others out there that do exactly what I do. They're called independent educational consultants. But what sets me apart is, again, I'm working with the student and the parents. A lot of educational consultants, they'll either just work with the students, which is great. They're spending a lot of time with the students, helping the students craft great essays and helping the students figure out which is the best test, SAT or ACT, right? They're doing this. But with me, I am working with the students and the parents so I can close the gap and I can make sure that there's communication within the entire family. So everyone can be on page. Students aren't just out there saying, hey, I want to go to U of M or Ohio State or Harvard. And there's this bill and the parents are like, gosh, I really want to send you there, but we can't afford it. So everyone in the household is talking because I'm working with the entire family through the entire process.
Okay. So who are your primary clients? And how do you tailor your services to meet their specific needs?
Okay. So typically I'm working with all families that have college-bound students. So if there's a family out there and they have a college-bound student, they'll come to me. But majority of the families that come to me are families that are middle class to upper class. They're the ones that actually, they know they're not going to be eligible for need-based financial aid. And so therefore, they are trying to figure out, how am I going to pay for college? They have multiple kids that they have to put to college, and it's extremely expensive. So those are the families that typically come to me, but I work with all families, and so I'm here to serve them all.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
No, I apologize for that. No, I apologize to listeners as well. Now, college is often considered one of the largest financial investments a family will make. How expensive is college today?
Oh gosh, it's expensive. It's way more expensive than when I went. When I went, after 4 years, my bill was like $30,000. It's costing $30,000 per year.
Yes.
And that's at a public college.
Yes.
And private colleges can cost as much as $90,000 per year. I was reviewing a college with the student the other day, and it was like $96,000 for 1 year. That was the cost of attendance to attend that college. And then you have inflation, college, it's going up by, I believe, 3 to 4% a year, So it goes up every year. It's expensive, and a lot of families they just don't know how to build that college list.
Right.
So they can send their kids to colleges that give those generous discounts.
Right. So how do you assist the families that earn too much to qualify for significant financial aid, but not enough to cover it?
Well, I look at a family's financial landscape. I'm looking at their income and their assets. Because that's really what is based on. A lot of times when families are filling out the financial aid form, they're looking at the income and assets. So when these families, they have a large income and then they have a lot of assets sitting around, they just don't get as much money or any at all. So then what do they do? So that's where I'm working with their students to look at the academic side, just to see where can we get those discounts, those scholarships, those grants. And then I have funding programs where I am helping families figure out, okay, let's look at some other strategies. So there are tons of strategies depending on the parents. If you're a business owner, then we may look at some taxation strategies, look at some other cash flow strategies. Where can we start saving money? So depending on the family, that's where I'm sort of helping them figure it out. But a lot of it has to do with, I always say the money is in the list. So a lot of people do not understand when your students are building that college list, you're just letting them build it because you don't understand the money is in the list. I save families thousands of dollars alone just helping their students build the perfect list where students are a great fit at the college, socially, academically, geographically, but also financially. And students, they don't think about the financial part. They're just thinking, oh, this is a big name college. They're not thinking of the financial piece. It has to be a financial fit also, not just an academic fit or a social fit.
Right, absolutely. So what are some common financial hurdles the families are facing during this college planning process?
Well, the biggest thing is my families, they don't save during the early years. So the best time to save for college is from birth to 14 years old. You have more time on your hand. And a lot of families come to me when their kids are entering 9th grade or 10th grade. I even have families, their kids are seniors. And they're like, I just got an award letter back and my kids they're not giving us anything. And what happens? They're taking out loans. So that's what a lot of families are doing. They're out there, they're just taking out the loans because the schools are going to offer you a financial packet. Say, hey, parents, you can take out this loan, and they're going to allow the students to max out the amount of loans that they can take out. And now everyone is in debt.
Everybody.
So the biggest hurdle is just not saving at an earlier stage. So that's a big hurdle. And then just the cost of college is a big hurdle that my families have to face. And just really making too much money to get financial aid, even though they have multiple kids to put through college, and even though they're financially savvy on paper. But when it actually comes to paying for college, my families are in a crisis because now it's, do I save for my retirement? Because we still have to retire. Or do I take money out of my 401k? Or do I take money out my investments to pay for my students' college? And now there's this battle. Like, I love my student, my child, but I also want to retire. And so families are literally, they'll stop contributing to their 401k or stop funding their retirement, wherever they're funding. If they're a business owner, they'll just stop funding in these accounts. And they'll take that money and they'll start contributing it to pay the college bill. And so it's a big challenge for my family. And I am here just to help them figure out a plan so they don't have to do any of this.
And that's what I want to ask you. What strategies, what specific strategies do you give them to help overcome these hurdles? I know you say start planning earlier.
Well, it's different per family. So there's not a one strategy fit all. You have families that the parents are divorced. That's one strategy. You have my business owners. That's a whole nother strategy from families that are W-2 earners. So just depending on the family situation, everyone has a different plan. Everyone has everything is customized to the family. So my job is, again, to look at the family's financial landscape, also take the students through the process of selecting the right college. And that, I'm saying selecting the right college, but before my students even start selecting colleges, there's a big piece that even come before that, so the students can understand who they are, right? So they can start saying, okay, now I understand myself better because I do a lot of assessments and surveys.
Right.
That my students go through a rigorous assessment process. Once they understand who they are and they understand the characteristics that they want to find in a college, then they start selecting a college. Now they're selecting colleges that are a good fit for them, and we're looking at the financial part, and it's just making sense for everyone. And so again, that plan is customized, but it's customized based on the students' college selection and then the parents' income and assets.
Okay. Now, explain to myself and the listeners about the 529 plans, and are they the best way to save for college?
So 529 plans are great. A lot of families, when they start saving early, that's the go-to for college saving. There are a lot of benefits, but 529 plans, and I'm not knocking them, they're limited, meaning that you have to, once you fund those, you have to use them for the purpose of college. I had a situation, it was where a family, they only had one, they had a son, he was the only child, and they start saving early. They did everything right. And then the son says, I don't want to go to college. And so, okay, this money has to be used for the purposes of college. So you have to use it either for tuition, books, or something like that. And if they don't use it for that, they're penalized. So you can pass it down. You can do other things with it, but it has to be used for the purpose. So I do not knock 529 plans. I suggest those too, but there are also other plans out there that I discuss with my families so they can understand that there are other things, other ways to save other than a 529 plan. That's just one way. And a lot of my families, they don't know that until they talk to me.
Right. So when you're developing these personalized college funding plans for the families with varying financial situations, what do you take into consideration? What is that process when you determine which financial institution or which plan you're going to use for for each particular family?
Okay, that's a good question. Well, again, it's really depending on understanding the student and really the goals that the family has. So whatever the goals are, I'm trying to meet those goals. A lot of parents will tell me this is all that I can do to contribute to my students, or I say student, but their child college budget. And so based on that, I sort of strategize around that. But again, everything comes back to income assets. Everything comes back to the number of students or children that this family has to put through college. And so everything is just really based off that. It's really based off the student's grades. If the student isn't academically savvy, that's a whole nother conversation that I have to have with the parents, because now we're limited to the student being the top 25% of incoming freshmen. And that's where these colleges, they're giving to the top 25%. And if you're below that, your chances of getting merit money, your chances are lower now. Your grades weren't great. So if I can get these students like ninth grade, then I can sort of really talk to them about the importance of grades. And then that's how I can just really strategize with the families.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, how do you and what do you assist the families in completing those FAFSA forms and the CSS profile?
So the CSS profile, a lot of students don't know that. That's the college scholarship services. And
Okay.
basically, though, that form is an institutional form that colleges use. It's not
Okay.
a form that the federal government use.
Okay.
And that form usually is for elite colleges or elite private colleges. So a lot of people do not have to use the CSS forms, but when they do, it's a deeper look into the family's finances, where FAFSA, free application for financial aid, that form is a government form, and they're still looking at your income and your assets. And I say that all the time, but it's a strategy to it, right? Because when it's time for a family to fill out their financial aid form, they're looking at their taxes, but it's a prior year. So a lot of families do not know that. So I have a family right now. Their student is going to graduate in 2027. Because they hired me and they came to me, guess what? We're already strategizing, because 2025, this is the tax year. Even though their kid is going to be a senior and going off to college in the year 2027, is what they do financially with their income and their assets in the year 2025 right now. So they're all over, because they're high income earners, and they're like, I don't really want to look that rich on paper. What can we do legal?
Right.
It's like lowering taxes. Let's get as many write-offs as we can.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's the same thing.
Okay. Now, how do you, well, let me say this. What factors should the families consider when they're selecting the right college? I know it has to be a financial fit, and you talked about doing an assessment, but I guess my question really is, how do you get them to stress how important it is that they find the right fit for both their financial future and educational future?
Yeah, and that goes back to saying the money sometimes is in the list. So there's this thing called strategic enrollment managers, and every college has it. And a lot of people, they've never heard of it. These are the gatekeepers of these colleges. They're there to protect the reputation of the college. So
and give us the name again? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Strategic enrollment managers. Every college has these managers. And their job, and they have a very important job. Their job is to protect the reputation of the college, and also make sure that these colleges are financial savvy. So strategic enrollment managers, they know exactly what type of students they want to bring to their college, and they'll talk to the admission officers, and they'll talk to the admissions office, and they'll tell the admissions office, these are the type of students that we're looking for. So based on that, when I'm working with students, I'm trying to make sure they fit into the box of what these colleges are looking for.
Okay. So tell us, how is it possible, and when is it possible, that the private colleges are sometimes less expensive than the public colleges, even though their sticker price is higher?
Oh gosh, that's a very, very good question. So a lot of families will shy away from private colleges because they do cost more. But here's the thing, they have more money to give. They have bigger endowments to give. They have bigger scholarships to give. So the school may be $90,000, but what if they meet 90% of the family's financial need? Of course, now the college is going to probably cost what a public college would cost or less. So it's a strategy behind it. You have to know, the families, they really need to know what colleges are out there that are generous, that are historically known to give out money to students like yours. So if you have a student and they have good SAT or ACT scores, and they have good grades, and they fit into the box of what these colleges are looking for, because these colleges, and I can get really deep into this, and I won't, because it can get really deep, right? There's this thing called yield rate and buyers and sellers and all these things that I teach my families. But I just want to say this. I just want my families to understand that some of these private colleges will get your students out in 4 years. So think about it. I'm going to keep the math easy. if the colleges, and this is low, of course, no colleges are costing $10,000. Maybe some community colleges out there, but let's say it's $10,000 per year, right? So we're looking at a $40,000 over the course of 4 years, right? Well, what if the student is there 1 year longer? That's another $10,000, right? So most public schools, kids are not, for various reasons, there's reasons why a lot of kids, they'll go to these public schools and they're not graduating statistically. These are facts. They're not graduating within 4 years. They're graduating within 5 years and sometimes even 5.5 years. Public colleges, a lot of those private colleges, those kids are getting out in 4 years because it's smaller. They can get their classes. They're not fighting to try to enroll in this class, or, oh, I couldn't get in this class. Now I got to wait a whole nother semester. Or they're not doing a lot of transferring, which is another reason why students take longer to graduate, which is why I make sure I help my students find colleges where they're not going to transfer. They're going to be happy and they're going to stay because we did the work up front. Because when you're transferring or they're leaving, it's keeping them in school longer and you're paying more money.
Right. Now, without making our head spin, talk to us about the student aid index and how it impacts a family's ability to receive financial aid.
That is a huge number.
Yes.
It's almost like knowing your credit score, right? If you, so the student, if you have a student that is college bound, you want to figure out what is your student aid index. That is a number that the government sets based off your income and your assets. And they tell you what this number is. And they'll say, guess what? We digged real deep into your income and we went real deep into your assets. And we feel that you should be able to afford this amount of money for college. And families come to me all the time like, yeah, that's what they think, but that's not really what I can afford.
Right.
They're devastated. So the lower we can get the SAI, the student aid index, the more eligible you will be for need-based financial aid, which is that free money that the government is going to assist with.
And what contributes to that? Lowering your student aid index. What contributes to that?
Yeah, that's the income and the assets. So that's where if I can catch them early and I can get them to understand what that number is, then they can begin to strategize. Like I told you, the family who they make a good amount of money and they brought me on board because they're like, hey, we need to start figuring this out because they have a very high a very high student aid index, but we know that. So now we're already strategizing. There are things you can do to lower that. And a lot of families, they just don't know how to lower that student aid index because they don't understand. They just accept it. But you can lower that number just like you can lower your taxes. Right? You can lower that number, and the lower it is, the better.
Okay. Now I see we are running out of time, and I still had a lot of questions I wanted to ask, but we are running out of time.
Well, let me just say this.
Yes, go ahead.
The best way, if a family wants to contact me, they can go to my website. It's Tracy Armstrong.me. That's TracyArmstrong.me, TracyArmstrong.me. On the website, they can book what's called a discovery call with me. It's a free call. And then just any information that I wasn't able to talk about here, if they have additional questions, they can ask me. So TracyArmstrong.me.
Okay, and I'm gonna throw this last thing in. I know we were talking about students leaving out of high school, and what about older adults going back to school?
Well, I personally do. My sweet spot is working with college-bound students that are high school students, and they're ready to go to college. But I wish all those adults out there ready to go back to college will. My program doesn't fit them, but I'm sure I can help them find resources if they ever need it. I'm sure there's someone out there working with adult learners.
Fantastic. Tracy, thank you so much. And I hope I hope we get to get you back because we were just starting to touch.
I know.
We were just starting to get into this so much. Yes.
It's
so we
so
have to have
much
you back
cover.
again.
Yes.
We have to have you back again.
I would love to come back.
All right. Dr. Kelly, we're going to give it Dr. Kelly on that one. But thank you again. Thank you for all your information and thank you for all that you do. You're greatly appreciated.
Thank you. You are too. Thank you so much.
The Black Business Expo mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K-12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. You may go to www.blackbusinessexpo.com to donate to the scholarship fund, or use the Cash App that's on your screen below, and that's the $ BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Remember, every dollar counts. So we want to remind you to donate to the scholarship fund. We also want to take this time to thank our Black Business Expo USA sponsors. That's NC100, Sway Soul, Carolina, Virginia Minority Suppliers, Development Council, Step Management, the Margie McLean Foundation, Genius is Common, the Executive Women's Success Institute, the Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Black Business Olympic, Artistic App Design, Banks Law Firm, and the Black Business Expo USA. Thank you for joining us. Remember, genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Hello, I am Dr. Eric Kelly III, the visionary strategist and founder of the Black Business Olympics. I invite you to showcase your Black-owned businesses on the Black Business Network global stage. The Black Business Olympics is a global Black Business Network platform that propels Black-owned businesses into the international spotlight. By showcasing your business on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can reach a worldwide audience of potential customers, partners, and investors. You can also establish yourself as a thought leader, an expert in your field, attract lucrative partnerships, and more speaking engagements. In addition, the Black Business Olympics platform provides a valuable opportunity to connect and collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals from around the world. This can lead to new business opportunities, ideas, and relationships. Finally, by sharing your story and expertise on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can inspire and empower others. This is a powerful way to make a positive impact on the world and leave a lasting legacy. If you are a Black-owned business owner, I encourage you to seize the opportunity to showcase your business on the Black Business Olympics platform. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make an indelible mark on the world. Be one of the 1,000 visionary entrepreneurs who are changing students' lives, shaping industries, and leaving an unforgettable legacy for their families. Unleash your voice on our global stage and watch your business thrive. Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Yes, the entire world. Just give me a call today at 919-308-9090.
Hi, I'm Eric Kelly III, and today I'd like to introduce you to my art. Welcome to the Eric Kelly III Museum, located in Durham, North Carolina. Today we're going to be discussing my art, my journey, and where I'm going next. You know, the past, the today, and the future. When I think about the beginning of my work, I have to go all the way back to when I was about 4 years old. And my grandmother gave me a pen, and I was in church. And I took that pen and I began to draw. And as I was drawing, later on, my grandmother said that the picture that I drew then looked like the choir that was in the church. And so my affinity for utilizing the ink pen to do work still happens today. Now, many times when we begin to talk about art, the question always is, what is the intent? Why do you do art? What makes you an artist? And so, as we look at my early years, I was not thinking about what I was drawing. I was just in love with drawing. I remember in the 5th grade when a young man, one of my friends, came to my desk and saw me drawing, and he said he'd like to draw. And so I said to him, anyone can draw. Because in my mind as a young kid, my art was just a way of, I would say, expressing how I felt. And so each day I would give him triangles and squares and show him how to draw. And so in my mind, I wanted to be an art teacher. And being an art teacher, I thought I could give back to other young people, other folk, how I felt about art. And so as we moved through my timeline and moved past the 5th grade, I began to draw, I would say, comic book figures, you know, a lot of figures, a lot of pictures of what I saw in comic books. And one of the things that I noticed about me at an early age, maybe it was because my grandmother was a civil rights leader, maybe it was because my great-grandfather wanted me to be a lawyer, and he took me each day from Scarborough Nursery School down to the courthouse to watch what was going on at the courthouse. And maybe it was me watching television and seeing the civil rights movement happening and seeing things that was going on. But I remember when I was about 12 that there was this thing called identity. You know, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. And the music that I was hearing was just so different until I began to change the white images that I looked at to black images. I can remember the Incredible Hulk that I changed into the Incredible Bulk. You gotta understand, I was a kid, you know. Tarzan. I did Tarzan wrestling with an alligator in the jungle with an afro. And so this whole thing of black identity was prevalent on my mind as a young artist. Many times people say artwork is political. And I continue to say that not only artwork is political, art is what is your identity, but more importantly, what is your intention. And so as I moved through those years, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I began to look at the difference between how I felt and how I saw things. And one of the things that I noticed early on is that I could actually hear tones and hear music and I would see colors in terms of what I was drawing. Many times I found myself talking to people and I would say, I can draw you if I think about you. And that was one of the games I used to play when I was a young kid. I would talk to somebody, I would listen to them, and then I would go home and I'd get my sketch pad and I would actually draw them. Many times when I was coming up, I used to tell people that if you talk about what you want, I could draw some lines and then I can go and create that particular object. Intention, identity, and color was very prevalent in my work at an early age. I remember my first paper mache dog that I did. It was white. And my teacher kept the paper mache dog. And my great-grandfather used to say to me that don't give my artwork away. And so he said, only sell to collectors. And so at 7 years old, he started a museum for me called the Eric Kelly III Museum that would house my artwork in his house, along his halls, and house my writings. I'm also a poet. I do poetry, 3 portrait CDs that I've done in the past, along with some more interesting writing. My work, again, as I said before, is about identity and intention. When you think about colors, and we will see some of those pieces later on, but the colors and portraiture that I've moved into, very, very important. Initially, I was doing a lot of figuration, and that figuration was a lot of history pieces. Now, fortunate for many artists, they have what I would say, some guidance, some leadership. When I was growing up, once I got to the 12th grade, 3 of my teachers, Sandra Dowd, Miss Corbett, and Miss Cousins, pulled me into the teacher's lounge. And my art teacher, Sandra Dowd, said to me that I was cheating the world because I was not doing enough art. And she said each day that she give out a project, that I would come in the day of the project and do the best piece in the school. And I used to think about that because I wasn't really aware in terms of my art. I just was doing art. And so my English teacher said that, well, this year you're not going to graduate. And my history teacher says, that is correct, you're not going to graduate. And so you got to understand, back in those days, graduation, senior year was very important. And so what I did was I said to them, y'all can't do that. And they said, yes, we can, because we control your grades. And so I sat there and I listened to them as they began to tell me what they wanted me to do my senior year so that I could do more art. And many times when you have people that come into your life and say they want you to do something and you have your own mission and ideas of what you want to do, sometimes you just, don't do it. But in those days, I was the guy who was very popular in high school. So I thought to myself, this is only a challenge. And so each morning, I would draw for my English class, the Macbeth, the Odyssey. For my history class, which was a Black history class, I would draw about the transatlantic slave trade, great African Americans who went on before, like Crispus Attucks, Martin Luther King, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Malcolm X. And these are the kind of pictures that I was drawing. They were historical figures. And I found myself doing the work late at night and bringing those pieces to high school and give them to the teachers the day of. And I think those teachers thought that by me doing the work that I was doing, that I was giving the work to them. But as I said before, my great-grandfather said, don't give your work away. Always sell your work for what it's worth. And more importantly, sell to collectors. And so the Eric Kelly Museum has been a private museum only selling to collectors. And so when the end of the year came, I had drawn enough work to fill a whole hallway in the high school. And as I said before, I started out doing figuration and doing historical pieces. And I hadn't yet started thinking about what my intent was going to be. Why was I doing the work? I was doing the work because I was asked, not because there was this urge deep down inside saying, I'm going to draw all of this work. And so at the end of the year, I received the Lynx Best Artist in the State. And this is what has propelled me to become the artist I am today. I looked at the art award that I received, and I thought about where did I want to go to college. And so I had letters coming to me. I was in the news, I was on television, and all these great things. I had these things to happen. And so I had letters coming to my house to go to different schools. And my great-grandfather used to say there are 5 things that you need to think about as you live. He said, number 1 is to think. Number 2 is to sell something. Number 3 is to do research. Number 4 is to be relentless. Number 5 is to have energy in everything that you do. And so I started on my quest for understanding that art was going to be what I wanted to do. And so I did research on the schools in Durham, North Carolina. And for those who don't know about Durham, North Carolina is a space where black people, 49% black people, were engaging in economics everywhere. You know, Durham was the tobacco capital of North Carolina at one time. And so when I was a young man and I lived in Fairview Street Projects, I could walk down to Pettigrew Street, not to Parish Street, because Parish Street is considered Black Wall Street now, but before Parish Street, there was Pettigrew Street. And on Pettigrew Street was Service Printing, black man owned it, the Regal Theater, black man owned it, the barber shop, WAFR, and the taxi cabs. And I could see black people doing great things right there on Pettigrew Street. And Pettigrew Street was probably about 4 or 5 blocks from where I stayed. I remember going to the Regal Theater, seeing Hercules and all these movies as a young man. But the thing that really impressed me about Pettigrew Street was I saw black people doing black things. And so as I did my research to see where I was going to go to school, I discovered that North Carolina Central University was one of the top schools with black professors. And one of the things that I wanted to do, you know, as a young person is I wanted to go to a school where I could study in the class, and then I also could go to the library and pick their books up and read more about what they were talking about, so I would be immersed into the art. And so at that time, North Carolina Central University did not have an art scholarship program. And so remember what I said earlier about my great-grandfather. He said, think, and then say, and do research. And so in doing my research and thinking, I said to myself, I want to take my portfolio down and ask them to come to that school for art. Now, many people don't know, and I didn't know at the time, that Ernie Barnes, who is one of the greatest artists who've ever come out of Durham, North Carolina, didn't know that Ernie Barnes had gone to North Carolina Central University. That was not, in my mind, something that I knew. I was an artist who was influenced by the people that I knew, not the books that I read, but the people that I actually knew. And so I took my portfolio down to Atlanta Henderson at North Carolina Central University. My portfolio was full of historical art, as I said before, because that's all I was doing. Many times you hear the idea that all art is political art. While I wasn't thinking my art was political, my art was always about identity as a black man, as a black person, as a black entity on the planet. And so I left my portfolio with Dr. Henderson, and a week passed, and they sent me a letter offering me an art scholarship at North Carolina Central University. This was probably one of the greatest days of my life. As my grandmother at the time said to me, she said, well, since you're going to school for free, I'm going to give you the family car. And you know, when you're thinking about your life and how things transpire to get you where you're going, these are the kinds of things that move you to believe in yourself. My grandmother used to say, you can do anything that you want to do. Just stand up for yourself and do it. And so, with that being said, my grandmother gave me the family car, and off to North Carolina Central University I was. And, you know, one of the first heartaches that I would say that I had at North Carolina Central University was the whole I'm on art scholarship. And why I say it was a heartache is because the other students that was in school in those days, they knew I was on art scholarship. I didn't know they knew I was on art scholarship. So when classes began and I was asking the other students about painting, because in high school I had done 3 paintings, hadn't done a lot of painting. As a matter of fact, I was self-taught for my painting. My art teacher, Sandra Dowd, said to me, and I'll never forget it, she said, you're an artist. I don't have to tell you what to do. Just take the paint and put it on the canvas and you will figure it out. And that was my first foray into painting. And I did pretty good. I created an abstract, I created a couple other paintings, and I was doing pastels at the time. And pastels was my first love after pencil and ink pen. And so what I did was I utilized my pastel skills as a way of painting. So when you actually see some of my painting, it looks like pastels, because that's how I mix, that's how I match my colors, that's how I draw, that's how I utilize my line work on my paintings, just like pastels. And we'll get an opportunity to see some of those things as we move forward. And so as I got to college, I won't ever forget, I was asking a young lady how to paint. And she said, you got an art scholarship, you ought to know how to paint. And this was a heartbreaker for me, because I came from a background of people helping people to get to where they go. And so with that in mind, in terms of how I was raised, I was never raised to say to people, I can't help you, I'm not going to help you, you got something, so go do what you do. And so this was a daunting task for me, because I was looking at seniors doing artwork, and I was expected at that moment to be able to do work just as well as the seniors were able to do the work, because
in their minds, I had an art scholarship, and that art scholarship meant that I had some magical powers, some great art in me that they didn't have. And so I was very, very depressed on that day. I remember it like it was yesterday, because what I did was, as they laughed at me, as they looked at me with those eyes of, you know, I don't know why you got an art scholarship if you can't paint kind of feeling, I just walked out of the classroom, got into my car, and I drove home. And I sat in my house, in my grandmother's house. I sat there and I just thought, why am I going to college? Do I want to go back to college? Do I want to continue this thing called art? I wasn't sure. I just sat there and sat there and sat there. And then in the back of my mind, I could hear Sandra Dowd saying, you know, you're an artist. All you got to do is put the paint on the board and work it out. I could hear Miss Corbett saying, when I brought her the pieces of artwork, oh, this is great. I'm going to be able to talk about Macbeth today, and we're going to utilize these pieces. I could hear in the back of my mind Miss Cousins saying, when you look at Eric Kelly, he looks dumb. But when he opens his mouth, he is brilliant. He holds class from one side of the classroom while we are doing class, and he can answer all the questions about history. And I could hear these things in my mind while I was sitting there thinking, do I even want to go back? I tell people all the time that peer pressure is a major pressure on many people if they can't handle it. Fortunately for me, my great-grandfather, my grandmother, and my moms always said to me, you can do whatever you want to do. Listen to what you want to do first and follow your dream. And so my art class was on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And my class that I went to was on a Monday. On Tuesday, I didn't go to art class. Wednesday, I didn't go to art class. So on Thursday, I decided that I'm going to go over there to North Carolina Central, and I was going to paint. Now, you got to understand, as a young kid, a young black man, when you're thinking about your identity, you're thinking about what you want to do, and people are pressing against you and doubting who you are and really identifying and seeing who you are. You gotta understand, you're not the guy that I am today. You are a young man who has fear, a young man who's uncertain, a young man who is asking the question, why am I here? And so on that Thursday, I went to the art department at 4:00 when I knew most of the students were not there. And I went to my board and I pulled out my paints and I started painting. And I just kept painting. And I just kept painting. And I continued to paint. I was working it out, trying to figure out what in the world was I doing. And I remember when I got to the art department and I thought about what I wanted to paint. And I painted a piece that if people saw it today, they probably would say that it's racist. If people saw it today, they would probably say, what was he thinking? What was his intent? But I had done a piece in history, in Black history class, of a slave being hung. And it showed a plantation owner grabbing the slave in his hair, getting ready to put the slave into a rope. The name of the picture was I Didn't Do It. And the picture was about a slave who witnessed something that happened and told other people on the plantation, and then the master decided to hang him for talking about it. And in this piece also has the Ku Klux Klan in the back, the fiery cross in the back, and all of that crazy stuff I was doing back in that day. And I began to paint that picture. And as I was painting that picture, I could see exactly how to paint. I don't know why or what, but I could actually see how to paint. And so I was there from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I looked up, it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I took my sheet that we had in art class, and I laid it over the piece, and I jumped in my car, and I went home. And so my class was Friday morning at 11 o'clock, 11:35. And so I got to class late that day, and somebody had pulled my sheet off of my painting, and the whole entire class was standing around my piece. You know, when you are uncertain about who you are and what you're doing sometimes, and you're looking for validation, it kind of gets in the way of how you make art. And what I mean by that is, I was not looking for validation. I was looking for how to paint. And by looking for how to paint, I created something that nobody expected to come from me, because just 2 days prior, I was asking people in class how to paint. And so this has been a part of who I've always been, is the kind of person who looks at something from a perspective, and instead of asking a question, I delve into it and make a change and make a difference. And so as the kids were standing around my piece, I walked into class, and true to form, I am never been a person who is always trying to talk about what I do. As my great-grandfather used to say, great people are not people who are walking around talking about being great. They're doing great things. And so I walked in and I walked past the students, and I started to pull out my paints in my box. And one of the students said to me, and this was a moment in my life when I really realized that I didn't need validation from people in me making my art. I just needed to continue making art. One person said, "That's not yours. What are you doing?" And I turned and I looked at the student, most of us seniors, and I said, "It is mine." I said to them, I worked on it from 4 o'clock until 4 o'clock yesterday morning. And then one of the students just said, "I just can't believe it." And I just turned and began to work on my work. This has been what's happened to me in art all my life. It's never been about me looking to be a great artist. It's always been about, what is the identity? What is the intent? Why do I draw? What about this practice that I have? What about this museum that I have that makes me continue to draw and paint? And so in college, it was very, very interesting after that time as I created my first piece. And then all of a sudden, the other students start asking me questions about how I did it. And that was more important to me than anything else. Not that I did it, but being asked how. And as I said before, I utilize my artwork or utilize my painting as painting as I was doing pastels. Pastels was my first love. And once I got to college, I had to began to think about what my identity, what I was going to do in art. Was I going to be doing figuration? Was I going to be doing scenes? What was I really going to do? And I remember Carlisle, who was one of my teachers. And Mr. Carlisle, I remember Mr. Carlisle. And Mr. Carlisle was a teacher, an art teacher, who said to me, he liked the way I was doing large pieces, and that large pieces was something different from what the other students were doing. And so what I decided to do was to try to figure out what kind of artist I wanted to be. You know, I opened up talking about identity and intention. And I'm going to talk about power and color and emotions later. But what kind of artist was I going to be? And so Mr. Carlisle and Kennedy and some of the other teachers decided that they were going to take us art students to Washington, D.C. And taking us to Washington, D.C. to a art show by an art show curated called 200 Years of African American Art. And you have to understand that in those days, the information that we got was just so powerful. It was not information that we didn't look at the information, but we looked at the information and worked on analyzing why it existed. And so had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. There was over 85 pieces of artwork by different artists from all over the world. And that's when I first saw Aaron Douglas. I had known about Romeo Bearden. I had known about Ernie Barnes because Ernie Barnes came from Durham, North Carolina. And I knew about Ernie Barnes because of Good Times. And I knew about Ernie Barnes because he went to Hillside, that same high school that I went to. And many times when we were drawing as young kids, we would always get, you trying to draw like Ernie Barnes. That's Ernie Barnes. That kind of like Ernie Barnes. And so my mind was like, I didn't want to be a copy or a duplicate of any other artist, but I wanted to know what these other artists were doing and who they were. And then I ran across a man by the name of Charles White. And this is where my entire existence was shook. Because I believe that art is the expression of how one feels. And we walked into this big room, and on this room was a mural. And this mural looked like I drew it. It looked like my work. Mr. Carlisle said it, Mr. Kennedy said it, and I was looking at it and I was like, how can this be? How can this man's work be like my work? And who in the world is Charles White? And so this was a journey to kind of discover who he was, why he drew the way that he drew, what was the political part of the kind of art that he was doing. And more importantly, in those days, some artists was doing something that they call today super realism. And that's what Charles was doing. Charles was drawing these pieces with asymmetrical lines, and the line work was just so awesome. And so after discovering Charles White, I began to study Charles White. And of course, I was always studying Ernie Barnes. And so I had to figure out what I was going to put in the art canon. Was I going to continue to draw these kinds of pieces like the Charles Whites? Was I going to continue to draw the pieces like Ernie Barnes? And so I talk about intention and identity and what my work really represents. And what I say to many people, that my work represents world peace. That's what my work represents. The colors that I use, the line work that I use. I'll share with you a little bit later some of the pieces and some of the line work that I do. But my work is about bringing people together, having them to see each other without seeing black or seeing white, without seeing color. I decided that I would do portraits, instead of doing themed pictures. Now, I still do theme and scene work also, but I decided that I would do portraiture, that I would do portraits, and that I would take colors and use them as emotional tones. Many times I sit down and then I hear music and I see colors. I hear people having conversations, I see colors. And so I decided that doing portraits of people and how they feel and how they look would be an impact on how people feel. And so I can remember going to New York City during the summers and just sitting on the stoop in Harlem and just watch people go by and just try to see what they were thinking. And they was arguing, how the intensity of that argument was, and the facial expressions. And I was always amazed by how people reacted. And each time that I would see people responding or moving, I would always see a different color that I could see in my paintings. And so I started drawing pieces in colors. And so my work has morphed from just doing the figuration into just doing portraiture, even though my next series of paintings are going to be dedicated to black women. That's going to be an awesome set of work that I'm going to work on. I can't wait. And so when you look at my work and you look at my portraits, you'll notice that I'm working to capture an emotion. When I do a piece in green and white, I'm looking at capturing an emotion. When I do a piece in a red, white, and blue, or as the Nipsey Hussle piece that I did, or as I would say, the rap piece that I did, which is a piece that shows the California colors, the American colors, and the African colors. And so I'm utilizing all these colors to make you, the viewer, see an emotion and get a feeling from that particular piece. My intent is to push you away from looking at a scene, but looking at how somebody is being seen. And that's what my portraiture work is all about. For the last 20 years, I've worked on work that transcends time. Pieces on my grandmother, my mother, in what I call lines, colors, and emotions. And when you sit back and you think about that first day in college when I didn't know how to paint, and you think about now where I'm painting every day, you can understand what identity for me has always been about. We hear about black female artists. We hear about white women artists. We hear about white men artists, the Michelangelos, the Monets, and all of these guys, the Picassos. But what we don't hear is about many black men artists and what is their intent and identity in the black art canon. I don't want to be revered as a black artist. And one of the reasons that I've moved into doing the kind of work that I'm doing is because I want to be revered as an American artist. I don't want to be revered as a black man artist, even though I'm a black man. I want to be revered as an artist that painted people portraits in different colors to get emotions from the viewer. I want my pieces to be large enough that it impacts you as you're looking at it, as opposed to you're just looking at a piece. You know, the colors are symbols and emotions that I get when I'm listening to music, when I'm painting. And so I want my audience to begin to look at my pieces as if it's an emotion, not just a painting, an emotion. And when you talk about all art being political, my work is about, again, how do we develop world peace through art? And I believe the way that we get to world peace through art is by stop looking at art as being black or being white and looking at art as an entity of making, or as some people say, as creating a piece where you get emotions, where you get feelings, where you get an idea of what my intent is when I was actually creating or making the art. That is kind of where I am today in terms of my work. When you think about my great-grandfather, so many years ago when I was 7 years old, walking into my bedroom saying that he wanted me to be a lawyer, and he asked me what did I want to be, and I said I wanted to be an artist. And at that moment, he made a decision to create for me the Eric Kelly III Museum. After we went to look at museums to see what they were about, you have to understand that the future of what I would like to see happen is museums for artists who have been marginalized, for people who we don't talk about. Why is there not an Ernie Barnes Museum in Durham, North Carolina? Why is there not a Romer Bearden Museum in his hometown? Why is there not a museum for black artists so that our young people can see how they went through the process of how they do work? And so with my museum, it's been kind of a blueprint for these kinds of things. The Eric Kelly Museum houses the collective writings, the collective works of my work for over 65 years. And one of the things that I would like to see happen is many, many more museums for great artists. When you sit back and you talk about Basquiat, for example, great artist, a New York artist, where's his museum? Where's a place or a space for us to go and see his work? I talked about Ernie Barnes, Charles White, for instance. Where can we go and learn about Charles White? Another gentleman, and I could go on and talk about Kennedy Wiley, who's doing awesome work, Lisa Butler, who's doing awesome work, Mark Bradford, who's doing awesome work. We can go around the country and around the world and see the Van Gogh Museum. We can see the Richard Steele's work, Clifford Steele, work. We can see all of these white artists around the world. Museums. Where are the black museums for our young people to see the greatness of these artists who have gone on before us? You know, I also do photography work, and Gordon Parks was a great photographer. But think about it for a moment. Other than seeing the exhibit of Golden Park's photography, where can you go and study him, the man? One of the reasons that I'm doing this video is because when you look at or talk about artists, many times we have people to narrate what was that artist thinking about, okay? And what was he feeling about what he was doing? And you don't get the conversation from the artist. The artists don't talk about the line work. The artists don't talk about the color. The artists don't talk about how he got to where he is. There's always somebody else talking about how he got there. Van Gogh, for instance, they talk about him cutting off his ear and sending it to somebody. They talk about the Starry Night piece. From their perspective, they don't talk about, or we don't hear Van Gogh say, well, the reason I did Starry Night because I was depressed and I thought tonight this was a piece I was studying to do these kinds of things, and this how the Starry Night happened. We don't get that story. So you really don't know the intent. And so I want to do a conversation about the intent of my work. My portraits, my lines and my colors are put together in a way to pull from you an emotion of how you feel about people on the planet. My pieces are human landscapes. I want you to look at my work and see the lines as the age of the people who I'm painting. When I talk about sitting in North Carolina on my stoop, or sitting in New York City, or going to Chicago, going to New Orleans, going to California, and going to all these different places and watching people, I want you to understand that I'm watching people to see how they move, how they react, how they respond, what makes them them. And so when you see my work, you may see a piece and say, that looks like this person, or that looks like that person, or that looks like this woman or this man. Well, what I do is I watch people and then I create the feeling that I got from those people. So while my pieces may look like certain folk, in my mind, they are sending out a message of emotion, feelings, and ideas and presence. And that's my intent. My intent is not to just paint pictures and you like them. My intent is to pull something from you deep down. My pieces are spiritual. The lines sometimes remind you of African mask. The lines remind you of lights and darks. The lines remind you of energy, of hope and presence. That's why I do the work that I do. Now, I could easily do figurative work. I could easily do scenes. But I had to ask myself one question. How do I do something that's going to be different, that's going to stand the test of time and say Eric Kelly III was here? And this was his work. This was his style. This is what he was thinking as he did artwork. And so as you look at my work, my earlier pieces, as I said before, were historical pieces, historical places in time. And then you look at my work now, you'll notice that I've morphed into doing work that brings about that whole emotional feeling from you to the work. And that's where we are today.